Uncle C, back in the office, and in today's video I'm going to express and demonstrate the #1 attraction killer when it comes to your ability to attract the type of women or the type of companions that you want. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because most guys are simply clueless when it comes to the #1 turn off and some of the things that they do that will consistently shoot them in the foot when it comes to approaching the type of women that they want, attracting, and also keeping. So not only are you going to learn tons throughout this video how to never make this mistake again, but here's what's going to happen by the end of it. By the end of it, I'm going to give you actionable, obtainable results, so that way you can actually take this specific method and this specific kind of mental model that I use, you can copy paste it into your own life and you can actually win. So stick with me. Now, real quick before we begin, you guys know that I've announced for the past couple of weeks we are closing down the Masculinity Blueprint enrollment for Q2 when we hit that 2,000 members. Right now I'm looking at it, we're at 1,913. That means there is only 87 seats remaining before this puppy is closed. So I highly recommend you hopping into that, because every single day I get testimonials just like this. Here's Dylan. He goes, "Here's my 2 cents for someone who's been on the fence about Casey's Masculinity Blueprint. I've been wanting to do it for 2 years before I pulled the trigger, and I cannot express how much it's changed the game for me, not only with women, but most importantly as a man. It's worth 10 times what I paid at least, and the dividends will last an entire lifetime. Thank you, Casey." That is the type of testimonials that we get in this thing every single day. So hop into that. But with that said, let's get to the meat and beans of this content, okay? What is the #1 turnoff when it comes to all women? The #1 turnoff is going to be being a man who is a coward or not being brave. Okay, I'm going to elaborate on these points extremely deep. So what is a coward or what does not being brave mean? Not being brave essentially means that you are not able to go and handle the obstacles or the tasks of life. Cowardice is oftentimes wanting to do something or knowing that you should do something, but you're too afraid to do it. Okay, that fear, whether that fear stems from insecurity, uncertainty, risk of rejection, okay, it can come from not having any experience in a specific area that you're wanting to have experience in. It does not matter why, but what matters is that it's in you, okay? And women can sense this. And the reason why it's so unattractive is for this one specific point that I wrote down. And I tell myself these things every day. I've told myself these things for my entire life, which is how I got to where I'm at today. But the main point I want to make here is that if you're nervous about rejection, if a woman sees that for the past 5 minutes you're glancing, you're looking at her, you're obviously clearly displaying indicators of interest, and you're not doing anything about it, you're not approaching her, you're not approaching the friend group, you're not just introducing yourself and making your presence known. Okay, here's what you have to understand. If you're a man who's worried about rejection, okay, if you value her opinion and what she thinks, and you're scared about the risk of rejection, which ultimately means that you're putting a lot of value in her own thoughts, whether she approves of you or not, I have a question. What does that say about your own strength if danger were to actually occur? Because you have to understand this. A woman gets the sense, if a man's too scared to approach me, or if a man's too scared to say hi to me, or if a man is too scared to look me in the eyes and have a simple conversation, there's absolutely no way in hell that this guy could protect if danger were to actually occur. So if she thinks you're a coward towards her, that means if real life danger happens, you're probably going to be a coward in that situation. This is why, whether that be true or not, that's what she's going to feel in her heart of hearts. Which means these things that I'm teaching you on this channel, these things that I teach inside the Masculinity Blueprint, these are the things that totally pivot and transform and change your life forever. Because think about this for a quick second. For some of you, that could be the difference between getting your first girlfriend or not. For a lot of you, that could be the difference between finally having abundance in your life when it comes to the dating options and the dating companions that you've ever wanted or not. And for some of you, that might be actually going through, right, generating options and actually one day having a wife or not. I know a lot of guys want a lot of different things. You mastering the ability to overcome your fears, not be a coward, develop the type of persona that you need to develop, is truly the pivotal moment where you become what it is, where you're happy with yourself and you know you need to become it. I'm going to go even as deep into this topic as I possibly can. Okay, any hesitancy in life is going to be a turnoff. This is why you have to accomplish and tackle your goals at all times. Okay? So what does that mean? Hesitancy can be hesitancy on the approach. Hesitancy can be asking for the phone number. Okay? Hesitancy can even be, let's say you're in a committed relationship and you're constantly talking about the startup business that you want to do. And then a week goes by and you still don't do it. And a second week goes by and you still don't do it. And a third week goes by and you still don't do it. That hesitancy to pull the trigger and take action into the things that you know you want turns women off. And here's why. It shows that you're not a successful risk taker. Okay? Men who take risks, okay, whether that be calculated risks or whether that be uncalculated risks, but guys who put themselves out there, win or lose, are typically the ones who are slaying the dragon. These are going to be the guys who get the girls that they want. These are going to be the guys that accomplish the type of monetary goals in life that they have, that achieve the career path that they've always desired. And most importantly, they show that they have big enough balls to go and take the risk of getting what they want. It shows that you're a go-getter, okay? So here's what you need to do. You need to desensitize and almost numb yourself to the internal feeling of hesitancy or risk of rejection that you have. You have to seriously not care. Like, just let that sink in for a second. When you tell yourself, like, it's impossible for me to be embarrassed. Even if a woman rejects me, it's impossible for me to care. This will not raise or elevate my heart rate or anxiety at all. This is going to be easy. When you start telling yourself this, you quote unquote brainwash yourself to have outcome independence. And pretty soon, when you release those shackles that have held you hostage when it comes to insecurity, when it comes to how your voice sounds, when it comes to the nuances in your speech, you're finally able to let loose. So here's how you do this. The way to do this, I told you, if you stay with me until the end of this, you're going to have actionable, tangible results for your own life. What I have done my whole life is I constantly craft a persona, okay? And a persona means who I am. So this is a running note. This is a running checklist. This is a running tally that I have on a day-to-day basis. I've been doing this for probably 10 years because here's the fact. Men are made. You have to make yourself a man of value. Nobody is going to do that for you. You have to mold yourself into who you want to be by fortifying the skill set that you want to have. And there's no way around that. So the skill set that's fortified eventually transitions into your identity. And the fact is, if you're not getting the results with your current identity that you want, specifically in the field of dating, you're going to have to change. This is my running checklist, okay, over the years, my running persona, identity, the things that I've worked on, and I'm going to read some of these to you. So the first biggest point on the sheet that I would need to read is that being brave and fearless at all times is extremely attractive and women love an assertive man. Then in parentheses I have plus, on the inside they are dying to be approached and hit on correctly by a masculine man who genuinely wants to have conversation. You have to understand, women are so sick of hiding behind their phone because the men hide behind their phone. Women are sick of being in these snap streaks. Women are sick and tired of texting all day without it going anywhere. Women are dying for real conversation. The key is for you to actually accept that and then for you to take one step forward and be that guy who's willing to have the conversations with them. That's just one point. Another point that I have right here is you being able to cold approach equals the mentality of I go after what I want and I don't care who sees. There's a lot of guys who advocate against that, but you have to understand what a skill set it is in order to be liked by a specific group, okay? That is a genuine skill set. If you can go and you can make not only the woman's friends like you, but also her like you, raise her interest, actually get to know her, see if that goes somewhere. Like I said, that right there, that one skill can be the difference in the turnkey moment for you developing abundance, getting your first girlfriend, finding a wife one day, like actually honing in the skills of what it comes when it comes to survival and replication. And that is your duty as a man. Another point I have here is never display cowardly behavior ever. Lack of bravery consistently kills desire. These things you cannot do because you can't be afraid of rejection, or it shows that you value her opinion over your own self-image. And that will constantly bite you in the ass. If you consistently live the way of the 99%ers, you're going to have 99% of guys' results. So I'm going to give you another example. A lot of times guys want to get good with girls over the summer, okay? Right now it's summertime. That means there's pool parties, that means there's boat parties, that means there's lake parties, that means there's going to be events and activities happening. If you have not yet enrolled into the Masculinity Blueprint Accelerator, we have exactly 87 seats. If this video gets 20 to 30,000 views over the next 2 days, you have to understand just how fast this will actually fill up, which means I highly advise you click the links below, either hop into the webinar or hop into the bootcamp link that I provided for you so you can be a part of this. Because genuinely, you have to realize there's 12 weekends in a summer. That's 12 weekends that are opportunities, and we just had one in July last week. You are either taking steps to improve, you're either taking steps to learn how to come out of your shell and develop the skills that you need to develop, or you're not. And if you're not, I need to ask you the rock solid question of why. Why do you sit and wait? Every single day that goes by is another day that you're not taking action, and I advise you not to do that ever again. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.